So, dear investors, a warm welcome to all of you. We'll start our presentation. I'm sure all of you will find it very much insightful. So, starting with a basic and general disclaimer, it simply says none of the stocks that we'll discuss are of stock recommendation. Moreover, registration granted by SEBI or certification by NISM doesn't ensure any performance or assurance of any return to any investors. Otherwise, just a basic disclaimer. So, what we'll learn in today's session? First, we'll share about our investment philosophy, how we pick stocks, and then we'll share three. Actually, we promised three, but actually we'll discuss more than three stocks today. So, we'll elaborate the investment principles through those examples, idea generation process, how those ideas are generated. Finally, risk mitigation, how we mitigate risk in our personal investment and also in AIF setup. And finally, how the AIF fund management structure can balance risk and reward in investment. So, let's quickly have an overview on our investment philosophy, how we pick stocks. First of all, we prefer growth without straining balance sheet. So, simply we prefer companies that have completed expansion to support 2 to 3 times growth in the coming years without any major debt or equity dilution requirement in future. So simply saying, the company have already expanded capacity, is now ready for the growth, and growth should come without major debt or equity dilution. Second is, we prefer high growth business available at a reasonable valuation. We invest in stocks, those are expected to grow at 20, 25 or 30% CAGR over the next few years and available at less than 20, 25, 30, 1 year forward PE. Now listen carefully. This is easier said than done. What you will find? Most of the high quality stocks, most of the high growth stocks, you will find their valuations are already high. So it's very difficult to figure out, but I'll show you how we do it, what kind of stocks are, how we go for it. Next is, we also look for fundamentally strong company with some sort of competitive advantage. So we prefer to invest in companies having ROE and ROCE of more than 20% with minimal debt and industry leading margin as well as healthy cash flow. So all these are indication of some sort of competitive advantage or some sort of business moat. And lastly, we are sector agnostic with diversified portfolios. We don't stick to certain sector or certain basket. Wherever we find opportunities, we invest once our investment philosophy match. We always maintain a portfolio of 15 to 20 stocks diversified across sector or themes, and no single stock. We have more than 10% allocation in our AIF, no matter how lucrative is the opportunity. Now, so these are all the theories. So I'll quickly complete the theory so that I can quickly show you the examples or the stocks that can establish, that can, easily you can understand those theories. So let's move forward for the examples. Now I have a question to all of you. Tell me few sectors where there is a massive tailwind. So like as of 2025, name some sectors where there is, massive government investment is happening, or, PLI schemes, or where maximum promoters are, providing great guidance for the next multiple years, or very bullish. So just name a few segments or sectors. Anyone? Solar,
infrastructure,
defense, power, EPC, AI.
O&M, operations and management.
No, operations and management is just a part. EPC is just a part. I am talking about sector. So what they are saying, solar, EMS, electronics manufacturing. Then NBFC, no, because the management of most of the NBFCs, they are not bullish. Real estate, again, no.
Infrastructure, no.
No. Travel. No. Anyways, I already got all the answers. But anyway, from those side, পেছন দিক থেকে কেউ? Semiconductor, yes, correct. Data center, correct. Pharma, not really. So I'm talking about, high tailwind, very popular in social media, very good stories.
Consumer durable.
Huh? Yeah, defense, already said.
Consumer durable.
Well, so yes, these are the sectors all of you already mentioned. Electronics, semiconductor, data center, solar, renewable energy, power transmission, defense, railways. So these are the, very popular sector, hot sector right now. Lot of people are commenting on social media. Even the management of those companies are predicting 40-50% kind of growth, massive growth in the coming days. Now tell me, what's the single most turn off on these stocks related to the sector? যেই সেক্টরের নাম আপনারা বললেন বা যেই সেক্টরগুলো এখানে দেখা যাচ্ছে তার প্রাইমারি নেগেটিভ পয়েন্ট কি? হোয়াটস দ্য প্রাইমারি নেগেটিভ অর টার্ন অফ related to the stocks of these sectors? Anyone?
All are high P.
High
Very
P,
high P.
high valuation. Anything else?
The defense, railway, government.
No, I'm talking about every. I mean, must be some common features on all the segments.
The capex related.
No, this electronic semiconductor are not that much capacity investment intensive business.
Competition, external competition, then it will further.
No, in semiconductor there are not.
It will,
No. Semiconductor there is not enough competition. Very few companies are actually, capable to do this semiconductor thing. Okay, so you already got the answer. So the simple answer is high valuation. All the stocks, those are from those segments, you will find very high PE. But in my first investment rationale, our investment philosophy, what I mentioned, we are looking for companies with high growth rate as well as available at reasonable valuation. So how to go it? How to proceed in such scenario? Should we exclude all this? Okay, we can't exclude all of them, but we need to figure out something at reasonable valuation. So that's why we call it as a proxy investing. So we need to figure out some stocks, those are proxy of these segments. So as I mentioned, so all the sectors with multi-year tailwind, the stocks are trading at very high valuation. Remember very carefully, even the best company may not be a good investment bet if purchased at a wrong price. This is a very famous quote. Most of you might heard earlier as well. But investors repeatedly forget this during bull market. And this, the best company may not be a good investment bet. This also proved in the recent correction, this January, February, March, April, the correction that we witnessed. If you follow this example, these three I have picked great stocks, market leader stocks, but these stocks corrected a lot. Anantraj, related to the data center theme, Kens Technology, semiconductor theme, Trent, retail theme. Trent means the owner of Zudio. You know the great expansion that Zudio is doing, and even if you visit the Zudio store, you will be very bullish on the stock. But even the companies like Trent, this Kens, this Anantraj, they corrected almost 50% during January, February, March, April period. Correct? Now, these are very strong companies, fundamentally good companies, good growth ahead. Apart from these stocks, there are hundreds of mid-cap, micro-cap, small-cap, those corrected by 50, 60, 70%. Why I provided these examples? Because these are very strong companies. These will continue to grow in future, maybe 40, 50, 60% rate. But investors may not receive proportionate reward. Why? Because first of all, those who already invested in 2024 or in early 25, they already invested at peak. So that's why even after you selecting great business, great growth ahead, even if the growth materialize, but still you may not earn similar amount of return. Fine. And that's the reason we need to bet on proxies where there is less discovered stock and available at reasonable valuation. Okay, so let's move forward for our first story. This, as you have already mentioned, these are the data center, semiconductor, electronics manufacturing, EMS. All these segments will boom in India for the next few years. There is no doubt on it. Correct? No doubt on it. The only problem is, the frontline stocks are very expensive. So reasonable valuation is possible only if that is less discovered stock. And what do I mean by less discovered stock? Where there is no brokerage coverage, no frequent management guidance or con call, no social media buzz and all. Okay, so the first proxy or the first proxy segment that we'll discuss is clean room. Now tell me how many of you know about this clean room or how many of you previously heard about clean rooms? Anyone please raise your hand. Nobody? Clean room. How many of you heard about this clean room or know about any clean room stocks?
No. Sir, that is a sector or
Segment.
Oh, no idea.
No idea. Oh, so that's a very, great proof that this is a less discovered segment. None of you heard about it. None of you heard about any stock related to it. And I am telling this is a proxy of this all data center, electronics, manufacturing and all. So validation, so this is a less discovered segment.
Is it connected to the waste management system?
No. What is clean room? It is written. So clean rooms are, no. Just clean rooms are specially designed or constructed with a controlled environment to ensure low levels of pollutants, dust, aerosol and chemical vapor. What is this? Simply a room, you can say, which is a air-proof, dust-proof. This is a room, we are all in a room, but this room is not a dust-proof room. This is not an air-proof room. Clean rooms are simply rooms you can assume which is a dust proof, germ proof rooms, and those clean rooms are actually traditionally used in pharma sector for medicine manufacturing, because those are very critical segment. So to produce, to manufacture pharma or to manufacture critical chemicals, you need that kind of rooms, you need that kind of setup. So these clean rooms are traditionally used in pharma industries, but now the industry is opening up for semiconductors, electronics manufacturing, defense, even for healthcare products. Now government is mandating that all these healthcare products, maybe baby diapers or this contact lens, these to manufacture these things, the companies require clean rooms. Now, so clearly clean room related stocks are proxy of electronics manufacturing, data center, less discovered stock, and that's why available at reasonable valuation. Already validation is done. None of you heard about clean room earlier, but all of you must heard about this Anantraj, Keynes, all these frontline names. Those are available at very high PE. So clean room is a very fragmented industry. There are two listed players. One is Fabtech Clean Room Technologies, second is HVAX Technologies. Again, a quick question, how many of you heard about these two stock or any one of the stock earlier? Please raise your hand. Nobody? Seriously? Actually, last week I have conducted this seminar in Mumbai. So there are few participants raised hand for Fabtech, but they said nobody have heard this HVAX technology. I know the reason why. So here also I had expected at least some of you heard about this Fabtech. Anyways, so as of March 2025, this FY25 end, both the companies earn around 90% of the revenue from pharma players. Now orders or inquiries are coming from semiconductor, electronics, data center, hospital and all. They already serve critical pharma requirements, and that's why there's no issue for them to serve critical industries. Okay, so what are the challenges? So in both the companies, they mentioned they don't foresee competition as a challenge because the market is huge enough and smaller players are mere contractors. So these two companies offer design to execution under a single roof. Now the challenges both the companies mentioned is the availability of skilled manpower, which is a good challenge to hear. Why? Because if a company says that we face challenge to hire skilled manpower, what it means? It means there are some sort of entry barriers there on those companies. अगर कोई मैनेजमेंट बता रहा है कि मेरा कंपटीशन कोई इशू नहीं है, competition is not an issue for me, but availability of skilled manpower, মানে আমি হায়ারিং যখন করতে যাচ্ছি তখন আমার কিছু ইস্যু ফেস করছি. হোয়াট ইট মিনস? ইট মিনস আমি যে টাইপের কাজ করছি সেই টাইপের কাজ যে কেউ করতে পারে না. সো দিস ইজ অলসো আ প্রুফ of some sort of entry barrier on those business. Now what are the challenges from our point of view? Well, clean rooms once built, it won't require any major investment for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So say for example, if it is a tire company, so tire, there is a demand from original equipment manufacturers. So whenever you purchase a car, these companies require tires. And after that, even after that, tires has replacement demand. It means even if you may purchase a car even after 5 or 10 years, but you might need to change tires in 2-3 years. So in tire, there is a replacement demand and there is an OEM demand. But this clean room, this is a segment, there is no such replacement demand is there. That's why the longer replacement cycle, and that's why after 2 to 3 years, this tailwind somewhere will fade. Clear? Second is working capital. There is around 6 months of working capital requirement. I'll discuss this working capital thing again later on. So aggressive growth requires funding. And the best part is both the companies have completed IPO last year itself, Fabtech in 2025 itself. So they have fund to grow aggressively at least in this financial year FY26. Now what is our expectation? What we are expecting from these clean room stocks? First is we are expecting market expansion. As I have mentioned, so earlier only pharma companies need the clean room. Now data center, semiconductor manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, they also need clean rooms. So market expansion, tailwind in the end user industry, and the pharma players, the traditional demand is stable. That's why we are expecting both these companies to grow at 30 to 40% CAGR for the next 2 years. And the best part, growth won't cost margin, rather operating leverage can play out. Fine. Now this is a side-by-side comparison of Fabtech and HVX. So both the companies we are expecting 30 to 40% CAGR. Fabtech is preferring organic plus inorganic growth. Organic growth means growing within the company. Inorganic growth means acquisition by acquiring some other companies. In FY25 last financial year's revenue of Fabtech is 150 crore, HVX only 131 crore. EBITDA margin or operating profit margin 11%, this is 14%, ROCE 21%, 22%. Cash conversion cycle earlier similar, but now in Fabtech it improved. And at what PE these companies are traded? Fabtech is around only 30 to 32 and HVAX only at 20 to 23 PE. Have you noticed any semiconductor, data center kind of stocks available at this kind of PE? 20, 30? No. So again a validation why this is a proxy and why this is are the less discovered stocks, that's those we prefer. Now can you tell me, both are similar stock, similar kind of stock, but one is traded at 30, 32 PE, another is 20, 23 PE. What can be the probable reasons? কি হতে পারে যে একটা কোম্পানি সিমিলার কোম্পানি সব কিছুই একটা 20-23 PE আর একটা 30-32 PE? Anything, anyone can, I mean, say in Bengali.
Sir, earnings. No,
Yes, sir.
inorganic growth, sir. That means they are very eager to grow.
No. So both the companies are expected to grow at similar CAGR. The growth, I mean, way may be different, inorganic, organic, but otherwise growth expectation, growth rate, these are similar. Any?
Cash conversion cycle. Cash conversion cycle, sir.
Please one by one.
Fabtech কি স্যার আগে ডিসকভার হয়েছিল কেন আগে পরিচিতি পেয়েছিল
No, Fabtech came with IPO in January 2025. HVX came with IPO in September 2024.
স্যার পিই জেনারেট
But you are very close.
Cash conversion.
Actually, cash conversion cycle was earlier similar. Just in FY25 it improved. Anyone from this side, back side?
Actually, IPO তে ভ্যালুয়েশনটা যেহেতু মার্কেটে বুল সাইকেল চলছিল, তো IPO তে ভ্যালুয়েশনটাও বেশি পেয়েছে সেই জন্য।
Actually, while HVX came with the IPO, that was September 2024, then market was higher. So on that logic, HVX should trade even at higher premium. But Fabtech, when they came with the IPO, that was in January 2025. So, but you are close. I mean, anything?
EPS বেশি হবে।
No. EPS, absolute value of EPS, I mean, has no correlation with the PE at what valuation that will demand.
Sir, we are focused on
Yes, sir.
both organic and inorganic.
No.
We are both
Growth expectation is similar. So for if there are two companies where the growth expectation is similar, then no matter whether they are growing organically or inorganically, it doesn't matter much to the market. Yeah, so few of you already, I mean, the answer was close. Less discovered and high discovered. Simply, Fabtech is well known to many more investors. HVX is not that much known to investors community. Now, what can be the reason?
because if the demand is high the price will go
No.
high.
Just
Because sir, this is the proxy player, not directly.
and both are proxy player. Yes.
Fabtech is listed on BSC and this one is
No. People, investors are very clever, and always remember there are crores of investors. We are not alone. So there are crores of investors investing or looking at the similar set of stocks those we are looking at. So what can be the reason why
Not in main media.
both are not in main media? As these are not in main media, you will find not a single TV presenter or any brokerage house discuss about these two stocks. So even within these two stocks, I am telling one is at bit higher valuation, another is at lower valuation. Why this lower valuation one is less discovered? Now why less discovered? What can be the reasons? No. Again, I am telling. See, there are there are crores of investors. There are many crores of investors. Many investors are using many advanced features. Everything. So those are just name difference and all. These are not the reasons for less discovered or high discovered.
They are advanced in semiconductor or EMS tech.
No. No. Well, I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you. Simply because Fabtech conducted a lot of investors con call since IPO, but HVAX, they didn't participate or they didn't conducted any con call, any guidance, nothing. Only in May 2025, this HVAX offered some sort of guidance and they conducted con call. But since the IPO in January 2025 from Fabtech, you will find there are a lot of management interviews, lot of investor conference call, both virtual and both physicals. However, in HVX there are none. So simple way to check whether that is an less discovered, high discovered stock. Just check how many. Just simply search with the company name interview. How many videos, how many coverage you are finding in YouTube or in media, or even in how many con calls, how many press release, how many guidance these companies have provided. Simple? Agree to sabai?
Yes.
So both HBX and Fabtech, we have our investment in our AIF in both the stocks. Out of these two stocks, as of June 2025, HVX technology is a bit ahead because of the valuation gap. Because as per our analysis, we believe at some point of time, both these companies should trade at similar kind of PE at some point of time in future. I don't know when that will happen, but maybe it will happen. The valuation gap will reduce. And the best part, it actually reduced after the conference call of HVAX in May 2025. Earlier, HVAX was trading at only 15 to 16 PE. That time there was no management guidance, no press release, nothing. So people don't even aware. In fact, we came to know about HVX in May itself. Earlier also, while we were researching about this Fabtech technologies, we figured out, okay, so HVX is a competitor, but we didn't, offered a serious look because I thought, HVX hai, theek hai. Lekin after in May 2025, the conference call, once we get more clarity, then we looked seriously and then we invested. So both the investment only in May 2025. Now, be careful from companies offering frequent tall guidance, frequent investor meets, because in all these such kind of stocks, positives are mostly factored. So any slight deviation from the management guidance causes stock price correction. I have already shared those examples, Anantraj, Keynes Technology. Many investors think if the company is growing that much, 40-50%, if it is a fundamentally strong stock, then why the price is correcting? You also noticed many companies, they publish great result. Even after that, the price corrects. Why so? Because in the price, there were already some expectations built up. So people always remember, while you are investing, you are not alone. You need to play mind game. You need to think about, although you will do research, obviously within a single room, you alone will do research, but you need to think about that you are not alone in the stock market. There are crores of investors in this stock market, crores of analysts, very clever, very advanced, analysts, they are using, doing analysis with many advanced tools. So you need to think about it. If a story is too good, from many Telegram groups, from YouTubes, from your friends, everyone is saying, okay, so great stock, bhai kharid le, kine nao, double hoye jabe. Be very careful, because if everyone knows about it, if everyone is positive about it, how the price will grow? I hope all of you understand how the price increase in the stock market. It's simply because of supply demand, and how this supply demand works. So again, if I just elaborate, suppose this is the stock market. There are around 55 people. Let's say there are 55 crores investors. So this is suppose the stock Fabtech. So only these 4 crore of investors discovered. So they invested. After a few months, another 4 crore discovered. So once they, wish to purchase, then only demand is getting created. And these 4 investors, they know, no, I will hold for long run, so I won't sell it at cheap. So they are offering higher price and they are even buying at higher price. Fine. And after this 4 and 4, 8 crore investors, then another 4 crore investors is getting aware about it. Then while they wish to purchase, then the price is getting increased further. That's how value creation works. That's how wealth creation happens in the market. No such gambling, nothing. এখনো যদি কেউ ভেবে থাকে ও কোনো কিছু না এমনি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, nothing. It's your ignorance. If you think that stock market is gambling, there is no logic, then that's your ignorance, nothing to do about with the market. All you need to do, you need to understand how the market works, how people works actually, the psychology of other people. It's not only about theory, lessons, everything is good. You need to learn how to read balance sheet, how to read cash flow statement, how to see price chart, everything you need to learn. Even after learning everything, you need to consider how others are thinking, others are doing. You need to understand this psychological game. So now consider a stock which is out of the 60 crore investors. Say for example there are 60 crore investors in the market. Out of the 60 crore investors, 50 crore investors already know about it. They have already invested on it. So then how the price will grow? Rather these 50 crore investors, what they will do, they will try to sell at any point of time. Well, they require money, they will try to sell, and whenever they will try to sell, despite good fundamentals, despite whatever, the price will fall. It's not because the growth or it's not anything, it's everything comes in the supply demand scenario. How many people know about it, how many people are already holding it, and who is trying to sell and who is trying to buy. Correct? That's why in many cases you will find stock price will fall without any particular reason. Then what is the reason? The reason is simple. Investors, those who have the stock, suppose as I have mentioned, so there are only 10 investors who are holding those stocks. Now out of these 2 investors, they need some money. So they need to sell some big quantities. So whenever they will try to sell some big quantities, automatically the price will fall. It's not that they are selling because they, estimated something negative. Got my point? So that's how market works, and that's why be very careful from companies, those already they have, tall management guidance, they are doing frequent investor meet. It means most of the positives are already factored on such stocks. Now moving ahead for our next multi-bagger potential. So first we have already discussed.
Proceed or in question and
Now question answer session will be at the last, otherwise we will deviate. So next we'll proceed for the second theme. So many of you already mentioned the solar. Obviously solar, renewable energy, it is bound to grow. Why? Because India is still a net importer of power and energy needs. Coal, oil, gas, whatever you say, India is still a net importer. Government of India is trying to reduce the import bills, and that's why solar installation or solar addition must grow over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And lot of government initiatives are there. There is ALMM scheme. How many of you know about what is ALMM scheme? None? But there must be someone, few investors who earn money from solar stocks. Please raise your hand who earned money from solar stocks, but you don't know what is ALMM.
sir, not directly solar, but
Anyways,
that solar related transformer.
okay. But then also you should know what is ALMM. No. And that's the actually reason why the solar stocks are moving up. ALMM simply is approved list of module manufacturers. So government introduced, what government introduced this scheme, they said anyone who is to install solar, they need to purchase from ALMM approved companies. And the government done so that they can restrict the Chinese imports. Remember, solar modules, China manufacture it very cheaply. In India, the prices are a bit high. So if Indian market remains open, so Chinese companies dump here, so none of the Indian solar companies can grow. But the government introduced this ALMM approved list of module manufacturer, where the government is saying that if you want to install solar, you need to buy this module from this approved list of manufacturer, and approved list is obviously government is approving Indian companies only. Okay. So again, what is the problem with these solar stocks right now? Most of them are already factoring next 2-3 years growth. The best time to buy solar stock was back in 23-24. In fact, many of you must remember back in April 23, in our Bangalore seminar, we covered the stock Insolation Energy. I have provided this recorded video. That stock generated 30 times return over 23-24 period. I'm sure, yes, there are investors in this hall itself, they have earned similar return. Now tell me, this 30 times kind of return, will it repeat? Forget about 30, 10 times return, will it repeat? No. Why no? Because today it is a well discovered stock and all the positives are already factored in the price. Simple. So although installation energy will continue to grow, maybe at 50, 60 or maybe even at 100%, but the reward, investors may not receive the proportionate reward. So again we need to look for proxies. What are the proxies? Yeah, okay, another problem with solar stocks, entry of many biggies like Reliance, Adani, Tata, all they are entering into solar. That's why the competition is heated up. Smaller player will face pricing pressure, margin erosion. So despite sales growth, margin might moderate, that might impact their bottom line and that will result in PE derating. So valuation, currently valuation of all the solar stocks already factored multi-year growth. So again, that's why investors may not reap proportionate reward. Fine. So that's why we need to hunt for proxies. What are the proxies of the solar? Here I have mentioned first is the transformer, because if you generate solar energy somewhere, so from that place you need transformer to transmit that energy. এমন তো না যে এখানে সোলার জেনারেট হচ্ছে এখানেই সব কনজিউম হয়ে যাচ্ছে না। সো যদি সোলার এনার্জি জেনারেট হয়, ইউ নিড ট্রান্সমিশন লাইন, ইউ নিড টু ট্রান্সমিট দ্যাট এনার্জি। নাও এগেইন দ্য প্রবলেম উইথ ট্রান্সফর্মার রিলেটেড স্টকস, most of them are again trading at very high valuation, already factoring multi-year growth. Few are there, but most of them are already factoring multi-year growth. Now if you need transformer, you need cables and wires. সোলার তৈরি হচ্ছে, ট্রান্সফরমারও লাগবে, তার সঙ্গে তারও লাগবে না সোলার এনার্জিটাকে নিয়ে যেতে, ঘর অবধি পৌঁছতে। Cable and wires is a very good proxy. This segment, remember, cable and wire, still opportunities are there. Most of these cables and wires, they are traded at bit high valuation, but not that much high valuation. So if you want, any investor want, one can figure out opportunities from this cable and wire sectors as well. But we have went further down to dig deeper for proxies. So what are the proxies? Well, so we figured out a proxy which is called electrical panels. What is this electrical panels? So definition, an electrical panel is the central point for distributing electricity throughout a building or factory. It takes the main power supply from utility and divides to the smaller or individual circuit. Anyone understood anything?
Storage tank.
No. So very difficult to understand. I can if I just tell the definition, difficult to understand. Okay, let's simplify. Very simple. In all of our house, we have some MCB board where if we just turn off, we send a main switch board, we just turn off the power and everything turns off. Correct? আছে তো সবার ঘরে আমাদের মেন সুইচ বোর্ড যেটা বলি আমরা, অন করে দিলে সারা ঘরে অন হয়ে যায়, অফ করে দিলে সারা ঘর অফ হয়ে যায়। That's simply a panel. So why panel is required? Just to transmit or divide electricity in smaller parts. These panels I have mentioned, so this is a very basic in our home requirement. But similarly, if you have EV electric vehicle, you will find from the charging point of the EV vehicle there is a panel. If you just turn on, the charging starts, if you just turn off, the power cuts. So in EV charging you need panel. Forget about homes, most of the industries, these panels are very critical thing. Why? Because see, in industries there are multiple sort of machines, and say for example these 3 set of machines require separate kind of power, these three separate. So in industry there are requirement of multiple panels, so that ধরুন এই 3টে মেশিন আছে, 3টে মেশিনে আমি পাওয়ার অফ করে দিলাম, 3টে মেশিন আমার সেফ রইলো। এদিকে 4টে খুব ক্রিটিক্যাল মেশিন আছে, 4টে মেশিনের পাওয়ারের জন্য আমার আলাদা প্যানেল করতে হলো। গট ইট না? বোঝাতে পারলাম না? সো অ্যাকচুয়ালি হোয়াট হ্যাপেন্স ইন হোম, ইটস ভেরি সিম্পল। ইন আওয়ার হোম উই হ্যাভ অনলি ওয়ান প্যানেল, one MCB board, but actually in industries, in factory, you will find multiple such. So these panels are categorized into 2 sub-segment, HT panel, high voltage panel, and low voltage panel. Okay, now high voltage panel, actually in our home or in EV charging we use this low voltage panel, LT panel, HT panel is mostly required in industries. Now tell me, anyone know any stock related to this panel? Any stock related to these panels? No, no. 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 In your MCB board, do you find this mention? Polycab, Havels. These are
Siemens also sometimes.
Polycab, Havels. These are wire manufacturer primarily.
Siemens, ABB, Schneider, all that.
Actually, ABB, Schneider, they are very, very sophisticated, very big companies. So they manufacture panels which are very high, maybe in the main transformer.
Industrial.
So I mean, ABB, Schneider, Siemens, they manufacture panel, but these are very specialized kind of panels. And again, ABB, Schneider, Siemens, these are again traded at very high valuation. Well-known companies traded at very high valuation, but these are very good companies. Most of them are multinational companies, and these companies, I mean, those companies will report growth with or without tailwind because they have huge product basket. Okay, so there are few companies, those who manufacture specific panels, or these companies supply some components to those biggies. The first company, the stock, Shivalik Power Control Limited. This is a simple panel manufacturer. Now look at the price chart. Around 70% fall. Any guess what went wrong with this stock? Anyone?
PED rating.
Why? But why? I mean to say these are very high tailwind segment, multi-year growth ahead.
Margin compression due to raw material.
Price dropped, it means PE derated. But why this PE derating? You said margin compression. Anyone? Actually, to derate PE, margin must need to fall. So then again, if you look at some data points in FY25, this company, the sales jumped by 30% from 102 crore to 132 crores. PAT was 11.27 crore, that again increased 12.41 crore. Moderate jump due to margin fall, but the stock price corrected by 70%. How can that possible? Again, I'm telling you, there is no such corporate governance issue, nothing. Sales growth 30%, some sort of profit growth, but still why stock price corrects by 70%? Any idea?
Any big institution sell it or promoter sell it?
No, promoter didn't sell. Even after institutional sale, then also there must be some buyer. If the company is quality really good and if they have multi-year growth ahead. Well, the exact issue, and I mentioned that's why microcap investing is very challenging, and that's why many retail investors struggle. Many retail investors, even after doing everything, you end up with loss. And these are the real possibilities. The exact issue is aggressive management guidance. Back in June, July 2024, when the company came up with IPO, since then management participated in multiple conference calls, multiple press release, and everywhere they mentioned, this solar industry is growing, panels demand is huge, so we'll continue to grow 40-50% CAGR in the next 3-4 years. So back in IPO at the price of 300, then price moved up to 350 level. So on that price itself, all the positives are factored. And then when the company reported some sort of fall in margin, instead of 40-50% growth, the company reported 30% growth, price crashed. Price continued to fall. Now, if any management is guiding 40-50% growth, the only way stock price can move up if the company report 50-60% growth. If management is guiding something, and if in such case the stock price can continue to grow only if the actual result beat guidance. This is the reason you will find there are many companies, those report great numbers, but stock price corrects. Because expectation was already built up. Whatever the market was expected, it didn't. The result didn't came in line with even matching the expectation. So lesson from SPCL, what I have mentioned. Only lesson is investment solely based on management guidance can be a blunder. Yes, conference call, press release, you must need to check this, but solely relying on that can be a blunder. After this correction, today is this June 2025, the company is available at 2025 kind of PE. This is a kind of fair PE, fair valuation. So from here, stock price trajectory, how the stock price will behave will again depend on the margin trajectory. If the margin improves, then the stock price will improve from there on. If not, then it won't. We digged further. Then we discovered this company called VDeal Systems. How many of you heard about it? You? Only one hand? And how you heard about it? How you came to know about it?
Actually, I have found it in a social media group.
Social media group. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So you heard about it. Where is the manufacturing plant of this company?
I don't know.
Okay. So that's not the thing you'll say I know about this company. Okay. So this is, the business is similar like SPCL, but they are into value-added smart panels. What do you mean by value-added smart panels? Simple. Say for example, a panel which can be operated from using mobile or in laptop like this. Nothing fancy. But the company is focused on less competitive Eastern India market. That's a Orissa-based company, and they serve most of their clients Orissa, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. In FY25, they reported only 33 crores of revenue, and their existing manufacturing facility can support annual revenue of up to 100 crore. Now again, we are doing some side-by-side comparison. SPCL, Shivalik Power, same business, HT panel, LT panel, VDeal also smart panel. SPCL is in the more competitive Western India market. They are into Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra. Most of their clients are from there. VDeal is in the less competitive Eastern India market. Promoter, SPCL promoter is a 50 plus years. So kind of this again is my perception. Old school guy is a very nice guy, but some old school guy. But VDeal promoter is a mid-aged NIT graduate. Margin in SPCL, you will find the margin fluctuated a lot, but in VDeal margin was stable. SPCL management guided multiple times 40 to 50% CAGR growth. No such guidance from VDeal. After the 70% fall, SPCL is traded at only 23-24. VDeal is even still today less than 20 PE. So you got the point? কিভাবে আমরা আইডিয়া জেনারেট করলাম? সোলার ম্যাসিভ অ্যাডিশন হবেই। তো সোলার যদি পাওয়ার যদি অ্যাডিশন হয় তাহলে তো সেই পাওয়ারটা ট্রান্সমিট করতে হবে। তো সোলার থেকে চলে এলো আমাদের ট্রান্সফরমার যদি পাওয়ার যদি ট্রান্সমিট করতে হয়, এগেইন সেখান থেকে আমার ওয়্যারস অ্যান্ড কেবলস লাগবে। যে ওয়্যারস অ্যান্ড কেবলস লাগবে সেই পাওয়ার তো এগেইন আমাকে ইন্ডাস্ট্রি অবধি পৌঁছাতে হবে, ইন্ডাস্ট্রি বা হাউসহোল্ড। সেই ইন্ডাস্ট্রি অবধি পৌঁছানোর জন্য প্যানেলস লাগবে। Not only that, if you follow most of the companies, they are mentioning in press release that they are installing solar in their factory premises. That will reduce their energy cost. So right now, say for example, for electricity, they are paying 7, 8 or 10 rupees per unit. Even in West Bengal, যদি আপনাদের কারোর ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিং ফ্যাসিলিটি থাকে দেখবেন কমার্শিয়াল ইলেকট্রিসিটির তো প্রাইস অনেক বেশি। তো তাই প্রচুর কোম্পানি সোলার ইনস্টল করছে টু রিডিউস দ্য কস্ট, বিকজ উইথ সোলার দ্য কস্ট উইল বিকাম অনলি maybe reduced by 50%. And whenever these factories install solar, they require panels, these electrical panels. And that's why these companies have 30, 40, 50% kind of CAGR growth potential ahead. So you got my point? No screener, no price chart, nothing can explain such things. You need to understand, you need to think about it, you need to, just utilize your mind, you need to utilize your brain. Nothing can, no software. Obviously today AI is very popular, we are also using AI for multiple research. Those things can help, but you need to think about it to conclude. Just because management bolche bole eta hobe emon noy, think about it how that can be possible. And VDeal management er rokom kono guidance nei, so that's a great case for us. We are getting reference from a competitor, we are getting also reference, so this kind of growth is possible easily. So again, VDeal, no management call, no social media chatter, you won't find any brokerage report, nothing, no expectation build up in stock price. Panel industry is growing at 30-40%. So again, not so difficult for a small player to replicate similar kind of growth. Major customers are from Orissa, West Bengal, Jharkhand, where competition is less, Vidil is one of the two players in panel manufacturing. They are into value-added panels, so that's why their margin is more stable compared to SPCL. We invested at very reasonable valuation, less than 20 TTM PE. Even today also, it is available around 20 PE. While we invested, market capitalization was around 72 crore. What are the risks? Working capital intensive business. In fact, all this business are working capital intensive. Now let's understand this working capital intensive. What do you mean by working capital intensive? Anyone who know what is working capital cycle? Okay, so let me very simplify. Again, if I provide you some bookish definition, then it would be very difficult to grab. Suppose I am a manufacturer of, let's say, mobile phone, or let's say this mouse, very simple product. Today, this year I have completed 100 crores of sales. Fine. With 100 crores of sales, let's say I have earned this 100 crore. Now I am telling that this mouse, there is a huge demand in the market. That's why it's easy for me to grow 50 or 100%. In the conference call, I am just guiding 50, 100% growth is nothing because the industry is growing big. Now, if I want from 100 crore, if I want to do 200 crore business next year, then I first need 150 or 160 crore to manufacture these mouses. So with 80 crore investment, say for example, I did 100 crores of sales. Now, if I want to touch 200 crores of sales, so for 200 crore of sale, I need to manufacture this mouse or 200 crores, and for manufacturing I need this 150, 160 crore. So from where I will get that money?
Short-term borrowings.
Either I need to take borrowings or I need to go for equity dilution. Now remember, if my sales is 100 crore, no bank will provide me this 80, 90 crores of borrowings.
And I see so.
It will be very difficult for me to borrow. Even if I can borrow or if I can dilute, I need to borrow at very high interest rate, or I have the option to equity dilution. Now, I have already borrowed huge money. I have already diluted my equity. If my sales didn't, go ahead as per my expectation, what will happen? I will default in my interest payment. আমাকে interest pay করতেই কষ্ট করতে হবে. Then what will happen? My bottom line profit will come under pressure. My stock price will come under pressure. So that's why before believing, there are a lot of microcaps companies, you will find the promoters as management saying 40-50% kind of revenue growth. But before believing on any such guidance, check their working capital cycle, existing debt. Working capital cycle means you can check debtor days, receivable days, inventory cycle, or simply you can think about it, how much money they need to grow at 100%. Recent fundraise history, how easy for them to raise debt and at what price, and whether margin will sustain or not after this debt and depreciation will come. That is the reason even after 40, 50, 100, there are many microcap SME stocks, you will find this promoter are saying, yeah, we will grow 100%, double ho jayega, 3 guna, 4 guna ho jayega. Even after that, the stock price are crashing like 30, 40, 50%. These are the reasons you need to understand. It's not easy. If you can correlate those business with your own business for any small business, it's not that much easy. So which business can grow that much without straining balance sheet? Where working capital cycle is low, working capital days are low. You can go to home and Google it, what is working capital cycle, to understand, in details. But that is the summary I have already clarified, why this is a big thing. So that we'll move forward for the next stock. So already we have covered 4, correct? We mentioned 3. The third stock, this is an agriculture company, no fancy story. It's just that agri segment is so big that anyone, if you today are doing 100 crore of agri business, you can easily grow to 200 crore, not a big deal. Now this company came into our notice after promoters are increasing stake through open market purchase. And we consider open market purchase is a big positive. So very short story, this company name is Sonali's Consumer Products. So they, again, whenever I'm saying the stock, you guys started writing. So this shows that people are very hungry about stock tips rather than to understand what's behind it. Believe me, আপনাকে যদি একটা মাছ ভেজে খেতে দেয় খুব ভালো লাগবে, সবাই চাইবে, কিন্তু যদি কেউ আপনাকে মাছ ধরাটা শেখায় না, that guy is doing a great favor for you. There's a very good quotation. Anyways, but again এমন কিছু না যে আপনারা লিখবেন না, লিখুন, but all I am trying to say is if you keep on writing, doing video, photos, then concentration might lapse. So Sonali's consumer product, so they transferred from healthy snacks to contract farming, very simple business. They recently raised fund, massive ambition. You can follow their investor presentation. Very less known stocks, only 30-35 crores of market capitalization. Now we have a very small investment in our AIF due to the downside risk on any such business. Actually, why I am telling about this downside risk? Let me clarify. Many of you, say for example, what I noticed, the great mistake that investors do, say for example, you have 10 lakhs in your portfolio and you somewhere heard some story or you get some stock recommendation to stock tips, whatever, you invested out of 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs on a single stock. Why you invested? Because you are thinking, okay, if that 5 lakhs becomes 10 times, it will become 50 lakhs. With 50 lakhs, I can purchase a 2 or 3 BHK, enough down payment, 50 lakhs will cover. Or with 50 lakhs, I can purchase my dream car. But you didn't factor out, what if that 5 lakhs turns 2.5 lakhs? Will it impact on your personal finance or not? Because even as we are offering advisory service, I multiple times what I face, suppose we recommended 10 stocks, 1 or 2 stocks didn't perform, and time again and again people ask for that particular stock. While I dig deeper, while I ask, do some further conversation with that investor, আচ্ছা আপনি আর কিসে ইনভেস্ট করেছেন, তখন সে বলে আমি ওই শেয়ারটাতে অনেক টাকা ইনভেস্ট করেছি। আমি বলেছি কে বলেছে আপনাকে অনেক টাকা ইনভেস্ট করতে? আমরা বলেছি না, আমরা বলিনি, কিন্তু আমার মনে হয়েছে তাই আমি করেছি। তো আপনি ইনভেস্ট করেছেন অনেক টাকা, আপনার এখন লস হয়েছে, আপনি why you invested that big amount? Because somehow you thought if that stock becomes 2x, 3x, 5x, that might bring a fancy car, or that might fulfill some of my dreams, that might fulfill something, but you didn't factor what if that price corrects back, because any stock that has a potential to generate double, triple, 5 times, 10 times return can obviously drop by 50, 60, 70%. This is a basic common sense you need to understand. And that's why we focus too much on allocation. It is the allocation that decides everything. So until and unless you are comfortable with 50, 60, 70% kind of price correction, you shouldn't invest that much on any particular bet. So anyways, that's another part, and if similar kind of questions come in future, so maybe I have already covered that why investors panic and why they say আমি অনেক টাকা ইনভেস্ট করে ফেলেছি। দেখুন, আপনার যেটা অনেক টাকা সেটা অন্যের কাছে অনেক কম টাকা। It's not about অনেক টাকা কম টাকা, it's all about before investment you need to consider your downside risk. If you invest just focusing on upside, just thinking about upside without thinking downside, then you are bringing trouble for yourself. Simple. So for Sonali's consumer, what are the key monitorables? Everything depends on, there are 2 lady promoters and another promoter who is CFO, her son, how much revenue they can fetch from export and without burdening their balance sheet, and growth at any cost can be dangerous. Now I met this company management in Rajkot last week itself after my Mumbai seminar. Frankly, if I just share about after my management meeting, everything depends on the execution, because it's an agri segment. Growth is not an problem, but to manage growth can be an issue. And I didn't find that much positive vibes from the management. Again, আমি জানি না কেন, but not that much positive vibes. But agriculture is such a segment where you need lot of local connection, political connection to grow, to do business, to survive. So those are the negatives. And this company have already, they are building warehouse, and this warehouse can fetch revenue. So revenue is not a problem for me, but there are, as I mentioned, ultimately it is the bottom line, it is the margin, it is the balance sheet that decides stock price performance. Now, the risk on all the stocks discussed, we have investment from our personal account as well as in our AIF. So we have vested interest and we may overlook potential negatives. So if anything goes wrong, such microcap stocks can face multiple lower circuit and one may not exit with 40-50% kind of correction. So all the stocks that we have mentioned or discussed, obviously the name is Multibagger Investment Seminar, so Multibagger means minimum 2 times return. So we have also invested thinking about 2, 3, 4 times return over a longer run. But at the same time, we are well prepared for 40-50% kind of loss. And why we are prepared? Because ultimately it's about your allocation. If any investor with 100% allocation in microcap stocks is bringing trouble for themselves. Even we also offer multi-bagger recommendation service, then that service also we clearly mention, you take high volume service with the same, or at least you have some high volume stock investment from your own side. Otherwise, if you have 100% allocation in microcap, small cap stocks, then a prolonged time might come where you may not be able to exit, or these stocks result in loss. Why? Why any microcap can suffer 40-50% kind of loss? There is a side-by-side comparison. Microcaps, most of the microcaps have single or limited number of products or customers. But in mid caps, large cap, there are, normally they serve to many customers. Like a company like Polycab or Havells, they serve a lot of customers. It doesn't matter for them, उसमें से अगर 1-2 customer का bankruptcy हो गया या कुछ भी हो गया, correct? ABB, Schneider, you name it. मतलब huge customers. কোনো যায় আসে না ওদের একটা দুটো কাস্টমারের কিছু যদি হয়ে যায়, বাট স্মল কোম্পানিজ মাইক্রোক্যাপ দে হ্যাভ লিমিটেড নাম্বার অফ কাস্টমার্স, যে কোনো একটা কাস্টমারের কিছু হলে তাদের অনেক কিছু যায় আসে। মার্কেট সাইজ অবভিয়াসলি মাইক্রোক্যাপ স্মল বাট গ্রোয়িং, মিড ক্যাপ লার্জ ক্যাপ হিউজ স্ট্যাবলিশড মার্কেট, জিওগ্রাফিক প্রেজেন্স single, say for example most of the microcaps have presence in Eastern India or Western India, but large players have broader India presence. Technology new like drones, mid caps proven technology like mobile phones and all. Debt and working capital cycle very important, monitorable. In microcap these are higher, in large cap these are lowers. Promoters, they don't have enough capital market experience, in large cap they are enough experienced. As a result microcap can bring multifold growth, but single negative can derail everything. Mid cap, large cap, they can offer average return with limited downside. I'll just conclude with an example and after that we will take the break. Say for example, as in the slide it is mentioned, drone. It's a new technology. There's a very not well known, it's one of our recommended stock, Drone Destination. So in Drone Destination, opportunity size is huge. Why? Because it's a new technology. Last year in 2024, the stock price of Drone Destination jumped a lot. Why it jumped a lot? They got a contract from IFCO. IFCO is a, this maybe semi-government kind of entity. So IFCO provided a contract to Drone Destination to spray nano urea. Now in agriculture what happens, even till date all the farmers how they sprayed fertilizer, manual process. Now imagine মানে যদি ম্যানুয়ালি আমরা একটা মাঠে ফার্টিলাইজার দিই আর ভাবুন একটা ড্রোন ফার্টিলাইজার দিচ্ছে, তো দ্য ড্রোন ক্যান কভার আ হিউজ ফিল্ড উইদিন আ সিঙ্গল ডে দ্যাট হিউম্যানস ক্যান কভার মেবি 7 days, correct? So this drone technology, it's a great option to utilize in fertilizer spraying. Not only fertilizer, there are a lot of utilization of application of drones. So this Drone Destination got a contract from IFCO to spray nano urea, a big contract. And as you can understand, if they successfully completed the project, then the huge market opens up, huge growth. India is a huge country. Even multiple drone players are required to cover that huge field. And in anticipation of that, the stock price moved up because a huge contract, lot of upside, but what happened then? While this drone destination, while they went on field, they went for this spray, a lot of difficulties they faced. What kind of difficulties? In many places, farmers are not ready. Farmers are saying, we don't have fertilizer, you should bring fertilizer. Simple, মানে মাঠে গিয়ে কাজ করলে যে practical problem হয়. In theory, if we are in AC room, it's very easy. Oh, huge opportunity, great stock. Price also moved up a lot. But while they actually implemented, they faced a lot of problems. And as a result, what happened? That IFCO entire contract didn't materialize. And in this May 2025 conference call, the company said, obviously it's a learning experience for them, and now they also partnered with few private players. So does it mean that the urea spray is obsolete thing? No, that's the future. At some point of time, ultimately at some point of time, some part of agricultural land will use this drone technology. I am not talking about 100%. Even if 10% agricultural land use this drone technology, that's a huge market. So it's not a obsolete thing. It's a good technology, huge return potential, but still the stock price corrected. I mean, from where the price jumped from that level. So again, price corrected, and it is today, it is around the similar level what it was around 1 year back. So this is the reason why microcap investing is challenging, why a single thing can derail everything, and that's the reason why nobody can have 100% success ratio in microcap over a 4 to 5 years period. Out of 10 stocks, 3 to 4 stocks must underperform, must result in loss, can be massive loss, but just 1 to 2 stocks can change the entire story, can recover your entire loss, and can offer multifold return on your portfolio. Now, after the break, we will discuss how we are overcoming those challenges and how our AIF investment vehicle can overcome those challenges, and what individual investors can do to overcome those challenges. Okay, so the challenges I have mentioned in microcap investing, or rather I can say in any sort of investing. Now, how to overcome those challenges? See, the first thing is, it's the psychological barrier. All is in our mind. If you are in small cap, mid cap or micro cap space for last 4, 5 or any period 4, 5 years, there comes a time when everything appears gloomy. Suddenly massive price correction, difficulties in exiting, multiple lower circuit on stocks. There comes a time while it feels there is no future of the market. शायद मेरा वो रियल एस्टेट में इन्वेस्टमेंट अच्छा था, मे बी फिक्सड डिपॉजिट बेटर छिलो, मे बी ওটা বেটার ছিল, ডিরেক্ট স্টক বড্ড রিস্কি. Multiple such time will come that while you will feel that maybe I am doing some mistake in stock market investing. Fund might get stuck. Valuation might look statistically cheap, but on such time there remains a very little motivation to invest more. দেখবেন যখন মার্কেট পড়ে তখন অনেকের কাছে পয়সা থাকে না ইনভেস্ট করার. ইটস নট পয়সা থাকে না, ইটস অল অ্যাবাউট মোটিভেশন থাকে না. তখন মনে হয় যে না, আমি হয়তো জমিতে ইনভেস্ট করলে বা ওইখানে ফিক্সড ডিপোজিটে থাকলেই হয়তো ভালো হতো টাকাটা, বা ওই ফিক্সড ডিপোজিটের টাকাটা আর আমি হয়তো আনবো না. হয়তো আপনি যখন মার্কেট ভালো ছিল ফিক্সড ডিপোজিটেরই কোনো টাকা এনে মার্কেটে ইনভেস্ট করেছিলেন. Similarly, there are phases during bull market while investors tend to allocate more and more capital in mid cap, small caps. Multiple time will come in your investment career while you will feel, আরে এত বেড়ে গেল, so if I invested more, then তো আরও আমার এই রিটার্ন আসতো. 10 লাখ টাকা ইনভেস্ট করলে এগেইন আই ক্যান ইজিলি পারচেস 2 BHK, 3 BHK, আজকে যা রিটার্ন এসেছে সেটা নিয়ে. সো on such times mistakes keep on happen and the cycle will repeat. So anyone in the stock market for 4-5 years, all of you must relate these things. There comes a time over optimism while you will feel काश हम ज़्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर लेते थे, और एंड उस वक्त शायद आप दूसरा फिक्स डिपॉजिट ये वो इधर से आप पैसा इन्वेस्ट भी करेंगे. Similarly, there comes another time while your motivation will be at very low. So to overcome the challenges, the only option is to eliminate emotional attachment with profit or loss. If equity portfolio is treated as a number on screen, not as a real money, then easily that can be achieved. Now, what do we mean by that? ये तो मतलब it's very easier said than done. What I am saying, ultimately all of us, all of you are here to earn some profit, to earn some money. All of you are investing in the market so that to earn some money. All of you are listening to me for so long time so that you can earn some money. Otherwise, আমরা ঘরে আমরা কারোর এত 2 ঘন্টা ধরে আমরা কারোর কথা শুনি, আমার বাবাও যদি কিছু 2 ঘন্টা ধরে বলে, বা আপনি যদি আপনারা যারা আছেন ধরুন আপনি আপনার ছেলেকে কিছু বলছেন 2 ঘন্টা ধরে আপনার ছেলেও শুনবে না কথা, তো কাইন্ড অফ সিমিলারলি আপনিও আপনার বাবার কথা শুনবেন না 2 ঘন্টা ধরে. সো হোয়াই উই আর হিয়ার, হোয়াই ইউ আর লিসনিং সো লং টু মি, সো দ্যাট আলটিমেটলি ইউ ক্যান মেক সাম মানি. বাট হোয়াট আই এম সেইং, you need to eliminate all emotional attachment from profit and loss and treat it as a number. So let's elaborate. What do I mean by that and how you can actually replicate or how one can do that? See, right now in our fund management service, like while we are managing clients' money, so we are managing around 51 crores and soon it might reach to 100 crores and God bless, it might reach 500 crore, 1000 crore. Apart from that, so even in my personal portfolio, obviously figures are in crores. So the point is, while we are managing investors' money of 51 crore, so whenever you book profit or whenever you book loss, figures are in crores. Maybe for you, 1 crore is a big amount. But for us, if you see 1 crore loss or 1 crore profit, that's a huge. But right now I am dealing with 1 crore profit loss, maybe daily ups and down in crores. Today, those crores is not actual crore for me. Let me explain. In real life, in real cash, I have never ever imagined that 1 crore. मैंने अपना पर्सनल मतलब लाइफ में एक साथ कितना पैसा देखा होगा, 1 लाख 2 लाख, एक बार मुझे याद है 5 लाख देखा था एक साथ कैश, रियल कैश. सो वो 5 लाख जब रियल कैश मैंने देखा तो मेरा रिएक्शन, भाई इतना पैसा, 5 लाख देख के इतना पैसा रिएक्शन. लेकिन मैंने ये जो 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ मतलब इन क्रोर्स वी आर हैंडलिंग दैट. द पॉइंट इज, आज मैं जब वो करोड़ हैंडल कर रहा हूँ, सो दोज आर नॉट रियल मनी फॉर मी, क्योंकि अगर वो मनी होता ना तो मैं पागल हो जाता था. So for me, these are all numbers and my task is to optimize those numbers. The moment, the day you can achieve that kind of, mindset or mental thing, investment would be very easier. And that is tough. See, मैंने भी जब investment चालू किया था 2010, 11, 12, 13, तब 10,000 रुपया जब लॉस होता था बहुत बुरा लगता था. It's not कि एक दिन में ऐसा हो गया कि as I am saying. But today, yes, obviously after 10, 15 years, with God's grace and all, today nothing. Because as I have said, मैंने 5 लाख जब कैश देखा था, भाई इतना पैसा, तो अगर सोचिए अगर आप 1 करोड़ मेरे सामने ला के देंगे शायद भाई I can't handle. But we are handling it. So that's the point. That's the stage when you can overcome all these challenges कि डर लग रहा है, भय লাগছে, মার্কেট পড়ছে, আর কতটা পড়বে, 20% পড়ে গেল, 30% পড়ে গেল, রিভার্স মার্কেট বাড়ছে, আরে এত বাড়ছে, ইস আরও যদি ইনভেস্ট করতাম, এটা হতো ওটা হতো. সো অল দিস ইমোশনাল থিং, অল দিস সাইকোলজিক্যাল থিং only you can remove only when you consider all your portfolio just as a number. You are regularly seeing in your mobile app, আমার 500 বাড়ছে, 1 লাখ কমছে, 1 লাখ নিচে যাচ্ছে. Only when you consider those as a number, not real money, then investing would be very easier. And your goal should be that. Again, it won't come in single day. Now that is a psychological thing. In our AIF or in our fund management, how we are managing risks, First of all, basic, what is this AIF or fund management? So this is a SEBI registered pooled investment vehicle with mandatory sponsor or our investment. So in fund management or even in our personal portfolio, obviously we follow quality first approach. So fundamentally strong stock with 50% return potential is preferred compared to a mediocre stock with 100% return potential. Before looking at the upside, I first focus what is the downside for that particular stock. That should derive my investment decision whether I should invest or not. Second is never overpay. As I have described in all the stocks, see, everyone wishes to participate in multi-year tailwind, multi-year story where the growth is huge. But if we figure out that the frontline names, big names are at very expensive valuation, there is excessive social media chatter, then figure out for proxies where the valuation is less. Never ever overpay. If you overpay, you'll bring in trouble for yourself. Finally, allocation is everything. 50% correction in any single stock can be compensated by just 15% return from another stock. It's simple, all about allocation. Say for example, in my 50 crore portfolio, AIF portfolio, I have investment of only 1 crore in single stock. So 1 crore, that stock, if that corrects by 50%, my loss only 50 lakhs. Now if I have another stock with out of 50 crore, 5 crore allocation, only 10%. So that 5 crore allocation, that particular part, if it moves up by 10%, then also my loss is getting recovered. So at the end of the day, it is your portfolio that matters. It's not individual stocks, correct? That's why in our fund management AIF portfolio, we never ever invest 100% in microcap stocks. We also mention all of our investors, yes, there are multi-bagger potential from many stocks, but never ever invest 100% of that. Our AIF portfolio or even our personal portfolio is divided into primarily 3 parts. High volume stocks, those have less downside potential, 30-40% kind of. Low volume stocks, 30-40% kind of, and IPO opportunities. So this IPO opportunities is something that retail investors can't participate. Even myself from my personal account can't participate, but from my AIF account, as these are institutional account, we can participate in QIB or anchor allocation where allotment is guaranteed. And we all know many IPOs, generate 50, 60, 70, 100, 200% return on listing day itself. So those are kind of quick money making opportunities that's only available in AIF, in the fund management service. But remember, those IPO quick profit comes in bull market mostly. जैसे January, February, March नहीं आया था. तो these are again, IPO is a bull market opportunity. It's not a year long opportunity. Unfortunately, we started this AIF on 9th of January 2025. After that, उसके बाद IPO का जो रिटर्न ये था वो ख़त्म ही हो गया. IPO मनी ड्राइड अप. तो बहुत बार आपको लगता होगा कि हम इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, उसी के बाद स्टॉक प्राइस गिर रहा है, हम अनलकी है, इसीलिए हम कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में, या आई एम अनलकी इन माई लाइफ, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू समथिंग. बिलीव मी, अगर उस हिसाब से अगर देखूँ तो हम तो सबसे ज़्यादा अनलकी है. देखिए, हम AIF लॉन्च किया 9 जनवरी 2025, उसी के बाद से मार्केट करेक्शन और उसी के बाद से IPO अपॉर्चुनिटी भी ड्राइड अप. बट I don't consider as an unlucky. Why? Because it's a cycle. अगर आज मैं अनलकी हूँ तो इसका मतलब कल में लकी होना ही है. बट हाँ, अगर मैं ऐसे ही अनलकी बोल के रोता रहूँगा घर पे बैठे, भाई क्या हो गया, then I might remain unlucky in my whole life. It's just some general thing. If you feel yourself as an unlucky today, it must be at some point of time you will become unlucky. That's why you are feeling unlucky. But if you don't believe that yes, one day you can become lucky, then luck will never favor to you. Then finally, benefits of AIF structure. First is, as I have already mentioned, assured IPO allotment. So this is not possible in any individual investor's account, no matter how much one invests. AIF offers institutional investor tag, through which we can participate in QIB and anchor bidding, which somehow offers assured allotment during bull run. Okay, मैं कुछ और लिखने वाला था, शायद यहीं पे ये हो गया था. Anyways, next is SEBI registered skin in the game. The best part in AIF is, as per SEBI regulation, and that is monitored by multiple other agencies, we, Paul Asset, we should stay invested at least 5% or 10 crore of the fund corpus, whichever is lower. मतलब अगर मेरा fund में अगर 100 crore investors fund, if I am managing 100 crore of investors fund, then we must remain invested at least 5 crore of our fund. Similarly, अगर 200 crore में manage कर रहा होगा तो 10 crore अपना investment चाहिए. So, and that amount will offer similar return to us. So, you can understand the motivation. I mean, while we are managing our fund management, this AIF, this we obviously treat as our own money because we have our vested interest. So if I just do, side-by-side comparison of AIF and PMS, in AIF, SEBI regulated skin on the game, we must need to stay invested. In PMS, there is no such SEBI mandated. And those are the reasons most of the firm, most company, what they do, they from equity advisory, they first go to PMS, and from PMS then few of the companies jump to AIF. But we are one company which didn't transition to PMS, rather we jump to AIF, because in PMS minimum investment is 50 lakhs, but in AIF minimum investment is 1 crore. Again, SEBI norms. In AIF there are assured IPO allotment via QIB, Anchor, PMS, no such facility. In AIF, investment as a single entity. It means, but in PMS, each investor's demat or trading account is managed separately. So what happens in AIF? Say for example, there are 100 investors. All 100 investors put 1 crore. There is 100 crore. All 100 investors put 1 crore each in a particular bank account. And from that bank account, from a demat account, from a single demat account, we are investing or managing that 100 crore. This is why it's easier for us. मतलब अगर आपके पास एक account है, एक ही account से आप अगर micro cap में position ले रहे हो, so that becomes very easier, correct? But in PMS, there is no such single amount concept. In PMS, if you have 100 customers, investor, then 100 investors demat or trading account is managed separately. So that's why in PMS it's a bit difficult to take position on low volume stocks. Similarly, difficult to take position, difficult to exit. Next is in AIF we have institutional investor tag, which makes it easy to participate in fundraise. Fundraise means many companies do preferential allotment, many good opportunities come, many unlisted opportunities come. On those opportunities, any AIF can take preferred position. I mean, they can share some discount because of the bulk investment. Like in the fundraise, if a company is raising 100 crore and if some AIF entity is saying, okay, we will invest 5 crore, then obviously they will give some preferential pricing. So that's one benefit in PMS which is not. Lastly, AIF structure is beneficial for NRIs because investment is possible from fully repatriable NRE account. I believe there is no NRI here, but this is as this video will be getting recorded. Sorry, this is getting recorded. So this structure is beneficial, and NRIs know what is NRE account, what is repatriable investment. It simply says you can invest and you can fully take that money or profit into foreign countries as well. So these are the basic difference on AIF and PMS and why we opted for AIF and how we are managing risk in AIF and why in AIF structure we are anticipating higher return. Now, obviously, if anyone wish to know more about AIF, you can simply email us, or if you wish to invest in AIF, simply email us. We will provide more details, the detailed write-up, and then we can do some teleconversation as well. Now I'll talk about the current market situation this June 2025, which I mentioned earlier also is very favorable for microcap investment. Why? First, interest rate down cycle started in 2025, first in January, then also recently Reserve Bank of India reduced repo rate around 100 basis points. So 1% interest rate reduction. The same deduction will be reflected in your home loan, car loan, all the loans. It looks like 1%, but it is a huge for business person. Anyone here doing small business have working capital limit with banks? Please raise your hand. Anyone? None. Anyways, so all the business owner, any small business owner, they know mostly they have the working capital limits. So that 1% interest rate savings, and actually interest rate down cycle started. So it might happen, RBI might further reduce interest rate in the coming months. Even if it is not, it is expected that it won't move up. So this 1% reduction benefits small business owners a lot. And small business owners means again this micro cap, small cap companies. It's not that much impactful for big companies because companies like Reliance, Adani, anytime they get some preferential interest rate for borrowing, because they are not only borrowing from India, they can borrow from outside foreign countries, anywhere in the world, so they get preferential rate. But these small business owners, these micro cap companies, they mostly have higher interest rate, maybe 10%, 11% on their working capital loan. So that's why even 1% reduction will contribute a lot in the profit. And remember, interest rate takes time to transmit. It means in June RBI reduced interest rate. It doesn't necessarily mean from June itself the loan structure will get affected. Mostly bank pass on over 3 months. So after a quarter, the full transmission happens. The real impact will remain visible in the bottom line of those companies. Now in every interest rate down cycle, a surge followed in the micro cap and small cap stocks. Nextly, this is the first time in last 10 years private capex exceeded government capex. After 2012-13, this is the first time it is happening that private companies are investing more than spending more than the government. This is again an indication we might see those 2003, 4, 5, 6 kind of rally in the coming 4, 5 years. Just a possibility, but good possibility. Finally, reduction in personal income tax. So how many of you are salaried individual here? Please raise your hand. So many. So most of you must notice that from April, your in-hand salary increased. Because of the tax reduction, your in-hand salary increased. So anyone, be it business person or salaried individual up to 25 lakhs of income, so all of us will have higher cash in hand, so which will ultimately boost in consumption. So we have all the 5 levers: interest rate reduction, government incentives, boost in consumption, private capex, and at the same time reasonable valuation in micro caps. Why I am telling reasonable valuation? Because even if you look today, SME IPOs, all in 2024, most of the SME IPOs are generating 100-200% listing gain. But today, January, February, March, April, nothing. Maybe out of 10 companies, 1 are generating such kind of return. So although large cap and mid cap recovered, small cap, micro caps didn't recover yet. And small cap, micro cap is a lagging segment. What do you mean by lagging segment? Small cap rally comes or micro cap rally will come only when Sensex or Nifty will move towards the previous peak. Similarly, যখন down cycle start হয়েছিল, Sensex peak করেছিল around in September 2024, but micro cap segment peaked in January 2025. So it's a laggard segment. Again, sooner or later, Sensex or Nifty will move closer towards lifetime high. ये तो होना ही था, मतलब maybe it's earlier or later. Again, on that time, the rally will come, and on those rallies, as I mentioned, microcap is such a segment that may not provide any return on 1 year, 2 year, but a single year return will overcome everything. So all you need to do, you need to stay invested, stay in the game. Now, if I am talking about ourselves, 129 Wealth Fund, which is managed by Paul Asset. So if I just, offer brief about ourselves, we started 2010 just as a passion project while I was still in college. So we transitioned into an equity advisory firm in 2013 and then finally evolved into a AIF fund management firm. In 2025, we launched the fund on 9th January 2025. We are proud to say that all the initial AIF investors who were previously our advisory clients associated with us for 4, 5, 10 years grew their wealth from 10, 20, 30 lakhs to more than crores, and then they joined to our AIF. Since inception, we spent nothing on advertising. No cold calls, no sales target to any of our employees, no sales team. We have our employee here too, so you can ask them. There is no such sales team. We are very proud to say even the customer service guys who are just, picking your call, they also work we hired them as a junior research analyst. So we are very proud to say, maybe very few firm in Kolkata is there, where you will find they don't have any sales team. So without sales team, how we are growing? I mean, how we are doing business? Simply we prefer for mouth of word advertising from our existing investors. We launched AIF without any distributor support. Normally this AIF system, you will know, similar like mutual fund. Even in mutual fund, what happens? Banks or many other, you will find distributors. Like if you have bank account in SBI, HDFC, you will find those bank employee will say to take this mutual fund, to this. If you are wealthy enough, they will provide you this AIF options. Like if you have a wealth of 5-6 crores, the same bank employee, those who are selling to you mutual funds, they will sell to multiple AIFs. So AIF industry actually work on that fashion, so through distributors. But we are proud to say till now we didn't appointed any single distributor, or maybe will remain like that, so that none of the third party can push our product. What banks, even bank employees are doing, because if you follow them, they are pushing you to mutual fund products, sometimes credit card loans, whatever you say. But we don't run business in such fashion. Our focus is always on sustainable growth, not on aggressive expansion. We prefer fewer clients, less number of clients who understand stock market volatility well, so that it allows us more time and more resource to focus on research rather than customer service. If we start providing, advertisement, just most of the companies do, all sort of advertisement, then many clients will come. But that's not and that's why those, ज़्यादातर अगर client आएगा तो क्या होगा, share जब 10-20% गिरेगा, lot of queries, lot of phone calls will come. But we never do that. Rather, few of you might complain that we are poor in customer service, and for me it's a compliment. If someone says that your company Paul Asset is poor in customer service, or if someone reviews write bad reviews saying Paul Asset is poor in customer service, for me it's a compliment, because it means we don't push sales to anyone. We never ever push any product to anyone, which all players, be it in finance or whatever you say, they are doing. Finally, we operate with a very lean team, only 5 research analysts and some support staff are there. Again, no sales personnel. Second point that I want to highlight you, very important point, in fund management business, bigger is always not better. We have seen very renowned fund managers, they grew rapidly to 10,000 crore AUM or even higher, only to see underperformance and AUM shrink below 5,000 crore. Many of you must heard about Saurabh Mukherjee, Mr. Porinju. So they are great stock pickers, no doubt on it. They jumped their PMS, their AIF quickly above 10,000 crore. Porinju, I don't know how many of you were there in the market since 2017-18. So there was a time Porinju was treated as a celebrity. So in TV appearance, whatever the stock he is touching, it's like running like anything. But as we see, I prefer to learn from others' mistake, because life is too short to do all the mistakes by yourself. So try to learn from others' mistake. So after those things, what happened? Uska AUM भी 10,000 crore के ऊपर चला गया. Then came 2019-20, 10,000 crore से नीचे आके below 5,000 crore, portfolio underperformed, lot of clients moved. उसके बाद देखिए उसका TV appearance भी घट गया. He is no longer a celebrity. Similar thing happened with Saurabh Mukherjee again. Both Saurabh Mukherjee, Porinju, they are a great stock picker. They know a lot. They are experienced enough. Everything is, they know much more than me. But their growth, the fast-paced growth, Saurabh Mukherjee was once upon a time treated as a celebrity, so many TV appearances. Whenever their AUM jumped by 10,000 plus, then the downfall started. So that's why we have set an internal target in our fund management. Beyond that, we will limit the fund flow. As I mentioned, I prefer to learn from others' mistakes instead of doing all the mistakes in this short life. So obviously, this internal limit is, right now we are only at 51 crore. So this internal limit is still at higher, but we will never ever grow like that 10,000 kind of crore fund management business, because if we grow that, what happens? We will miss out a lot of investment opportunity in lot of microcap stocks that we can currently invest due to our low fund size. Once we move up this 5,000, 10,000 crore, we can't invest. Finally, ethics and honesty are our core pillars. See, in stock market, most of you know, once you have a decent number of follower base now, which obviously we have, there are plenty of unethical opportunities to earn crores. I am telling you crore, not lakhs. There are easy opportunity to earn multiple crores once you have a decent follower base. Today, all of you are here, so I also have that opportunity. Easy opportunity, those are not difficult. And you will find a lot of people across YouTube, many TV presenters, you will find there recent time many SEBI investigation coming out. Many people are getting penalized, even those TV presenters. They are getting penalized, YouTubers, pictures with some big celebrities. So they are getting penalized. If I am talking about this large name, Vijay Mallya, Naresh Goyal, Rana Kapoor from Yes Bank, popular YouTuber, TV presenter, you name it. But you know why we don't do that? It's not that I have to prove something by I am the most ethical person. No, we firmly believe that any money earned via unethical practice brings a lot of trouble in future to yourself. Very simple thing. You name any politician in West Bengal, you all know there are many politicians, starting from our former Partho Chatterjee, key minister chilo bhule gechi. So anyways, so starting, education minister. So starting from all these ministers, all business person, any person you name it, I will show you how their practice of earning unethical money bring trouble for themselves. You don't have to do anything. You might think, okay, so now I am doing things honestly, that's why I am earning less. He is doing some unhonest things, that's why he is earning more. Nothing to do, he himself will suffer at some point of time. And again, that I learned from my experience. As I have mentioned, I prefer, I study a lot of individuals. Recently there was a podcast of Vijay Mallya, 4 hours long. I listened that. Never ever in my life I listen a 4 hours long web series at a single stretch. Yeah, I too also love to, web series and all. But, why I watched is there are a lot of things to learn. So, I repeat, we never deviate from ethical practice when it comes to business because I simply don't want to bring problem for myself because I know any unethical money today I earn, it will bring problem for myself. It's not to prove someone, no, I am an ethical guy. Nothing, no. You are here in the world not to prove anything to someone else. Just think about yourself. That's it. So these are our USP and these are our business practice. Now I'll open the floor to question and answer session. We have very limited amount of time. So no specific stock related questions. So kindly ask some generic questions so that people can learn from that answer. So whenever you ask question, kindly ask some questions so that with the answer people can learn something.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
First question. In one side, you are keeping AIF. We know the difference between the AIF and the PMS. So keep it in one side, AIF. In the other side, you keep another fellow who is picking up the mutual fund, the small cap mutual fund and the micro cap mutual fund. Or take it as an index fund of micro cap. As of when market falls, not in a regular basis, not in a regular pace investment, as of when 2%, 3%, 5% market crash. So one fellow, he is investing in micro cap and small cap.
Another
or index
fellow?
fund, small, no large cap, no
Got
mid
it,
cap.
got your question.
Market is falling, investing in another side. My friend, my colleague, he is invested in AIF.
Got it. I'll
Which is
answer.
preferable?
Obviously, the person who is investing in AIF will fall more. Very simple. The person who is investing in index fund or some large cap, first of all, mutual fund don't invest in micro caps. Mutual funds, whatever the mutual fund will find, most of them, they might have some small cap mutual fund, but they can't invest in micro cap.
Motilal also will have a micro cap. Index fund 250.
Oh, so that's not micro cap.
Okay.
Actually, micro cap are those which have less than 1000 crore market cap. And normally these micro caps are beyond reach of the institution because a company like Motilal Oswal, they are managing few hundred crores. They can't take position with that big amount. So mutual fund, if I am assume index fund or large cap fund and AIF, obviously mutual fund will fall less during market downturn. AIF will fall more. During market upside, AIF will rise more. Index fund will rise less. So the question is, then why you should invest in my AIF or forget about my AIF or any other AIF? Remember, whenever you are investing in AIF or planning to invest in AIF, you should have minimum to minimum 3 to 4 years of investment horizon. Keep it in your mind. If you compare return in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months or 1 year, fixed deposit or even large cap mutual fund or index fund is best for you. Unless and until you have this 3, 4, 5 years investment horizon, or invest in AIF that amount of money that you don't require in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Because if sudden requirement comes, and if due to bad luck the market corrects that time, then in AIF the withdrawal might become difficult. So again, it's all about your requirement. If you are looking for some short-term return or maybe money which you require within a 1 year, don't invest in any AIF, not only my AIF, any AIF. Stay invested in index fund or any large cap mutual fund. But if you have some spare money, that you can keep it for the next 3, 4, 5 years, then obviously AIF will provide much better return. So everything has a risk and reward. You can't say I'll earn high return at the same time I can limit downside. No, it's not possible. Few might say for advertising purpose, but it's not possible. Fine?
Sir,
Okay. Yeah.
are you planning for your IPO?
No.
Not like
No. See, our company, we are, this fund management business, as I mentioned, fund management, bigger is not better. Whoever jumped to this 10,000, 5,000, they fall. But yes, these big companies, this Motilal Oswal,
Sir, IIFL asset management.
IIFL, then how they are doing? Obviously, they are, spread a lot and they are managing big money. They are not chasing very high return. They are chasing market average return or market beating return. So we, as I mentioned, my business principle is I don't want to keep lot of sales guy. If I want to bring my IPO, I need to keep a lot of sales guy in my office, because IPO means then investors, you guys will question why your quarterly performance is bad. Then I need to tell my sales guy, why bad? चलो कॉल करो, ये इसको रिन्यू कराओ, अब इसको डिस्काउंट दो रिन्यू करने के लिए, ये करो वो करो.
At present, no.
And these are the things that we don't like in business. So again, that's a simple reason we don't want to bring our IPO, because
At present.
we not only present in my lifetime, I don't think my company will bring IPO, but yes, I might invest in some companies, I might become primary shareholder of that company might bring IPO, but we ourselves, no, because only reason is I personally don't want to do business with lot of sales guys, lot of sales target in my company. No. Yeah.
Good evening, this is Shourabh Munik from Kolkata, and thanks for the great presentation, and keep
Thank you.
educating retail investors like us.
Thank you.
Sir, as you said a lot of things about your stock selections, and one thing that you said first, when you are selecting that stock, a calculation of downside is there. So just want to point it out, how you calculate that downside. Maybe it's different for different sectors, different industries, different stocks also. So as per general view, if you give us a proper guidance.
First of all, downside, whenever you are targeting an upside of more than 2x, automatically 40-50% downside must need to figure it out. It should come into the consideration. This is the first one, very generic answer. Second answer is, if I am doing some stock level analysis, I consider, okay, what can go wrong and how much impact it can come in the profit, not in the sales, in profit. Because many companies might say, okay, we'll grow by 40-50%. By the way, one example, someone asked about Mtron. Mtron Electronics was one of our recommended stock. So in Mtron also, management guided 40-50% kind of growth. And that company will require minimal working capital to grow. But remember, I also know the price of Mtron, the Mtron can become multi-bagger only if the company report more than 40-50, more than what management guided. So only if Mtron Electronics can report growth more than what management is guided, then only the stock price will grow. And we believe somehow from our analysis, it can able to grow even more than that, because it's not that much capital intensive business, and also means To grow that amount, it need minimal investment, minimal capex, and there is a huge sectorial tailwind. So yes, and with the same thing for downside potential calculation, we figure out what kind of EPS hit is possible. If it is 10% EPS hit possible, then just you can double 20% EPS hit, the stock price can fall 20%. Sorry, 10% EPS hit means stock price can fall more than 20%. So it's like that.
Ashish Kacholi also invested in Mtron.
Okay.
I also have invested
Okay.
huge amount.
Okay, so anyone from this side, that side?
Rare art metal sector সম্বন্ধে একটু বলবেন?
Rare earth metals, rare earth minerals, basically those are India mostly importing from China. So there is no Indian company which is producing that. Indian government is trying, is attempting hard, but it's not a like 6 months or 1 year job that within 6 months or 1 year we can produce it by ourselves. It will take multi-years of effort to do that. So that's why right now I don't think there are any stocks which is related to rare earth mineral. There is one company called Oasis, something like that in SME segment. Oasis, my minerals and mines, can't maybe not, but they are also. No, not international. Oasis Minerals and Mines, something like that company. So they are saying rare earth materials, but they are simply, producing something that is not that much rare. Anyways, to answer this question, right now in India, I don't think there is any company who is directly linked into this rare earth mineral opportunity.
Space technology কি?
Space technology, obviously, that's a hi-fi technology beyond my understanding technology.
Indian prospect secure.
Obviously, there's good prospect. There are many stocks which is linked with aerospace. Even aerospace has a good opportunity because in aerospace, lot of maintenance work will happen in India. Right now, the problem is all the Indian airlines, the aircraft that you fly, most of those aircraft maintenance, leasing happens outside India. But now government is trying to do inside India. So the stocks, those are related to aerospace. Space technology might offer great investment opportunity if available at reasonable valuation.
Startup है listed है.
No, I don't know. If you are asking about any particular name, I know, but I can't say because valuation might be high.
Unlisted আছে.
Listed আছে.
HAL হতে পারে HAL.
HAL, again, see, HAL is a big company. Again, most of the positives are factored. There is one small company I know, Takera Engineering, something like that. Takera. Again, not a recommendation, valuation is very high. Just this Takera Engineering is into, they are looking for this aerospace and defense opportunities. You can study, I just
তারে যায়
now.
Apollo Microsystem.
No, don't ask anything stock specific because even I don't, without checking fundamental, without looking in depth, how can I comment on that? Ask questions that can add some value to others as well, so that the answer can add some value.
এখন তাহলে
মেটাল সেক্টরে গভর্নমেন্ট 5000 কোটি টাকা ইনভেস্ট করছে আজকের পেপারে দিয়েছে এই ক্ষেত্রে কি ইনভেস্টমেন্ট করাটা
You can, no, first of all, figure out now what opportunities are there. So as I mentioned, I don't think in India there is any stock is there which is directly linked with rare earth minerals or rare earth metals. So first explore the opportunities, and then if it is available at reasonable valuation, then you can. Anyone? Yes.
স্যার আপনার কোর্সে যে 5 মিনিট টেস্টে যে প্যারামিটারগুলো আছে ওই প্যারামিটারে যে একটা কম্পারিজন দেখিয়েছিলেন ওখানে পাস আর ফেলের যে ফ্যাক্টরটা ধরুন 4টে পাস করছে বাট একটা ফেল করছে তাহলে কি নিতে পারি না মাস্ট বি
No, obviously focus on majority. And see, even on this 5-minute test, whatever you have mentioned, see, nothing in stock market is a mathematical formula. Please remember that. So nothing like comes, okay, so I am giving some formula and the result is coming, so this result is all. Nothing. So those are, all sort of probabilities, yes. If you invest based on that, maybe most of the stocks will outperform. So it's all about that. So that's why always consider the majority. 1 point might deviate, but yes.
আর শেয়ার স্ক্রিনিং করার জন্য বা দেখার জন্য লাইক মানে কোন জায়গা থেকে মানে অনেক স্টক
See, first of all, I have already, so hope from this presentation, from this session, you have already aware. Whatever the stocks we have discussed, Fabtech, HVX, VDeal, Did any stock came from screening? Any screener? No. So all this studying market, looking at market and all. So that's why obviously at side by side we use screener, we also do screening. So it's a combination of both. Suppose screening, at the time of screening such names comes, then we might dig deeper. But if you look at one parameter, what we also prefer, we look at promoter stake increase from the open market purchase. Suppose in screener, you put XYZ sum, you can do with any combination, ROE more than 20%, profit growth, sales growth, do anything. Suppose 100 result came. So from out of 100, from what to start? You can check what are the companies where promoters did open market purchase. That's one of the way we follow. So whenever you find, again, promoter increasing stake doesn't necessarily mean those are open market purchase. It might happen through preferential allotment, might equity dilution, anything can happen, but focus on promoters increasing stake from the open market. Even a 0.1% increase can be a huge positive for any stock.
Sir, your view on pharma and chemical sector, because now you can see the tariff war beginning.
Pharma and chemical sector, fortunately what happened during COVID time, pharma and chemical, lot of positive tractions happened. After that in 23 and 24, pharma and chemical was in downtrend. So that's why right now in pharma and chemical, there are lot of opportunities there. Those are available at reasonable valuation. Many stocks will bounce back faster. Few will take some time to bounce back, but there are good opportunities in pharma and chemical because of low valuation. Low or reasonable valuation at max, I say. It's not like, see, opportunity is there in every segment. It's not like out of pharma, there are maybe 500 pharma companies. Out of 500 companies, obviously 20-30 companies are there. They must grow big. So opportunities are everywhere. In chemical, there are a lot of inventory destocking happening. There are a lot of inventory piled up in some earlier years. So recovery might take time in chemical space, but in pharma recovery might be quicker. And yes, if you
US impose more tariff in pharma.
No, not all the companies will be getting affected through the tariffs. Whatever the global event happens or whatever any major event happens, remember, not every stock will remain affected even from a same sector. There are stocks which will be more affected, there are stocks which will be less affected, and there are stocks won't impact at all. So you need to figure out. So there is no such one-way answer. Pharma itself is a huge. Out of pharma there are 10-12 subdivisions. Chemical huge, and there are many subdivisions. Suppose a company which is in chlorine, so that company can't be compared which is in the fertilizer manufacturing. Both are chemicals, so there is no such generic thing.
The CDA में generics of pharma.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone?
Sir, after PP স্টকের নাম ওখানে লিখলেন 50% ফল করেছে অনন্তরাজ ট্রেন্ড কেন্স টেকনোলজি তাই তো এই তিনটে স্টকে ইনভেস্ট করা যেতে পারে কি?
Again, see, don't ask any stock specific question. All I have already provided the answer on the slide. See, these are great companies, great growth ahead. Fine, everything is fine. Growth will come in future, but the growth that will come, the similar reward, I mean, investors may not be rewarded at similar rate. Yes, obviously investors will be rewarded. If it is a strong company, strong growth, profit to hobei. At some point of time, you will get rewarded. So the point was, it's everything at what price you are investing. Suppose today I am saying, okay, so these are great stock, you invest. This recording, someone is watching this recording after 1 month, and he said, Prasenjit said, okay, so let's invest. But he didn't look at valuation or whatever. Then what will happen? Then he will say, na, apni bolechilen, ami invest korechilam. But ami thori bolechilam apnake invest korte. Because there are so many if and else. A same stock at 100 rupees, if it can be a same stock sometimes can be a great investment bet, and same stock sometimes can be a worst investment bet. It all depends on the situation at the price. What this is commenting.
Sir, আপনি যা বলেন চোখ বুজে করব না।
100%. Because any stock, as someone said about Asian Paints, you know what? Even while I started my investment career, lot of people I also started, I used to take some suggestion. So many people used to say, Asian Paints, so the চোখ বন্ধ করে আপনি 10 বছরের জন্য SIP চালিয়ে যান, একদম বিশাল প্রফিট হবে। তো today see what happened? If I continued my SIP, চোখ বন্ধ করে কি হতো? My return won't get optimized. হ্যাঁ, প্রফিট কি হতো না? প্রফিট তো ভাই হতো, কিছু না কিছু প্রফিট, কোম্পানি টিকে আছে। রিমেম্বার, আজকে আপনি যে কোম্পানিতে ইনভেস্ট করছেন সেটা যদি 5 বছর টিকে থাকে, 5 বছর পরে সেইটা আপনার প্রফিট হবেই। এই HDFC ব্যাঙ্কে আপনি ইনভেস্ট করুন, ICICIতে ইনভেস্ট করুন, আপনি এই এখান থেকে রাস্তায় যেতে যেতে যত কোম্পানি দেখবেন, গাড়ি যদি যান কেউ টাটা মোটরস ইনভেস্ট করুন, মারুতিতে ইনভেস্ট করুন, হুন্ডাইও লিস্টেড আছে, করুন না। আপনার প্রচুর এরকম ফ্রি স্টক টিপস, এরকম 50খানা কোম্পানির আপনি নাম দেবেন। সকালে ঘুম থেকে উঠে কোলগেটে ব্রাশ করছেন, কোলগেটে ইনভেস্ট করুন, নেসলেতে ইনভেস্ট করুন। আরে সব শেয়ার 5 বছরে আপনাকে রিটার্ন দেবে। ইটস নট অ্যাবাউট রিটার্ন, ইটস অ্যাবাউট অপটিমাইজিং রিটার্ন। ইফ ইউ নিড জাস্ট রিটার্ন, then anyone can do it. Anyone can do it if one remains rational enough. Sorry, not anyone can do it. Not anyone can do, because most of them are driven by greed and fear. So with the greed and fear, whenever they see, oh no, এই স্টকটা তো বেশি বাড়ছে না, ওইটা বাড়ছে, চলো এইটা বেচে ওইটা কিনি, অ্যান্ড যেই এইটা বেচে ওইটা কেনে, তারপর দেখা যায় যেটা কিনলো সেইটা আর বাড়ছে না, সেটা পড়ছে। তো পিপল মাইট সে কে না আমি আনলাকি, আমাকে মার্কেট, ইটস, আরে ভাই, ইটস নাথিং, নট অ্যাবাউট লাক। Do you think I am lucky?
So luck also
See, I am lucky. I am lucky. Why? Because I born in India. I am lucky because I born in Kolkata. আরে আমার ঠাকুরদারা বাংলাদেশে ছিল, আমি যদি বাংলাদেশে জন্মাতাম আমি কিছু টাকা বানাতে পারতাম? ওখানে স্টক মার্কেটই নেই। আছে, মানে এখানে যত কোম্পানি ডবল হচ্ছে ওখানে হয়তো তত কোম্পানিই নেই। তো আমি তো বাংলাদেশে জন্মাতে পারতাম। I am lucky because I born in India. I am lucky because my parents offered, good, not hi-fi schooling, but ঠিক-ঠাক schooling, ঠিক-ঠাক education, ঠিক-ঠাক college. They provided financial support for ঠিক-ঠাক, for, good college, good education, because lot of children are not even getting that kind of support. Fine. I was lucky because, I think I was at the right place at the right time. After my graduation, I just my gut feeling or whatever say, I just jumped into the stock market. সেই সময় আমি যদি আইটিতে থেকে যেতাম, I was not able to generate that much of wealth. So those are my luck. So on those cases, I was lucky because I was, first of all, born in a right country, in a right place, in a right family. Then from correct educational institution. হ্যাঁ, এটাও বলতে পারেন কলেজ লাইফে দেখবেন কলেজের ছেলেমেয়েরা যেই সময়টা ওই মানে অকাজ করে, হয়তো নেশা করে বা মেয়েদের পেছনে টাইম ওয়েস্ট করলো, আই ওয়াজ লাকি, সেই সব টাইম আমি কম ওয়েস্ট করেছি। হ্যাঁ, এগেইন আমি তো এটা ভাবিনি যে ভাই, আমি বলতে পারেন যে দোজ আর দ্য কেসেস আই এম লাকি। সেই সূত্রে মানে যাদের জন্য আমি মেয়েদের পেছনে বেশি টাইম দিতে পারিনি, মেবি তাদেরও কিছু ক্রেডিট। Those are the cases, those are the things I believe myself as unlucky. But if I make a profit from a particular stock, I don't consider as a lucky because I am also making loss, na? And if I was lucky, then to whatever the stock I invest, that stock price should move up. সবই লাভ হতো, সবই লাভ তো হচ্ছে না। There are many stocks I am losing money. So I can't say lucky if I make money from stocks. I was lucky due to all those things, all those circumstances. Another side. Even, I just say, I don't have any rings, nothing in my fingers. Lot of people, see, I am in business. Any business person you will find multiple rings and all. And that too, I am doing business in stock market. Risk to double risk. Stock market itself is risky and I am doing business in stock market. It simply means that any point of time, if I took some wrong decision, it won't take much time to lose everything, whatever I have earned. Correct? In my line of business, it won't take much time to lose everything, whatever I have earned. And that's why many business person or many people do wear rings and all. Now, why I don't wear, see, for me it's a bit uncomfortable. It's not like I don't believe or I just, throw those in dustbin. All I believe is if something is not affecting me, is not doing any harm on me, I can wear. আমি পড়তেই পারি, আমার ইটস নট লাইক দ্যাট যে আমি পড়বো না, পড়তে আমি পারি, বাট if it is not comfortable, I might skip, because I don't believe that can be a sole reason for my profit and loss. So it's like that. But yes, if you believe, it's fine. As long as it is not doing any harm on your body, you can. কালকে যদি আমাকে কেউ বলে একটা কিছু এমন কিছু পড়তে হবে, এমন কিছু করতে, it is not making any harm, then I can do. Yeah.
Sorry, খারাপ যাচ্ছে।
Yes.
আইপিও সম্বন্ধে দুটো প্রশ্ন আছে। কিউআইবি গ্রুপে এসএমই সেক্টরে বা নর্মাল সেক্টরে কতটা ইনভেস্ট করতে পারে, কতটা পাওয়ার অ্যাসিওর, আর দ্বিতীয় হচ্ছে যে অ্যাঙ্কর গ্রুপে বিক্রির ব্যাপারটা যদি বলেন, আমি ভিডিওতে বলেছিলাম যে 6 মাস পরে মোটামুটি আপনি 1 মাস পরে 50% বিক্রি করতে পারেন, আর তারপরে বাকি 50%
Okay, so no, I think in anchor, yes, in anchor investment, if you get some allotment via anchor route, there are two lock-in period. One I guess at 90 days and one another is guess as 160, 180 days. I am not sure, but you can check those from exchange website. No, SME এর জন্য আলাদা, মেন বোর্ডের জন্য আলাদা, but there are some lock-in, maybe 3 months, 6 months, maybe 30 days. Maybe হতে পারে, I don't have this exact knowledge right now. See, in anchor, if anchor invest, you can get entire thing. In QIB, what happens? It is proportionate allotment. Now, why I am saying even after proportionate allotment that you must get, we must get IPO from QIB, because in what happens in retail category, there are a lot of retail investors applying. Suppose there are 10 lots available, but 100 retail investors are applying. That's why it is difficult to get in retail. But in QIB, what happens if there are 50 lots, only 10 AIF, 10 entities are applying. Remember, now each entity is applying a lot of money. That's why oversubscription happens. You got my point? So in QIB, what happens? It's not that the lot of investors are applying, limited number of investors or limited number of entities are applying, but with a huge money. That's why oversubscription is happening, but everyone is getting allotment. বুঝাতে পারলাম আমি? না, রিটেল ইনভেস্টর পারে না। ইন QIB, only this AIF, mutual funds, banks, only institute can apply. That's why from even my individual account, I can't apply, no matter how much money I have. So in QIB, only institutional entity can apply. That's why the number of entities remain much less than the number of shares or number of lots available. But the amount is higher. So that's why, say for example, the category is oversubscribed by 10x. So whatever we have applied, so we'll receive 1/10 of that.
বলছি লাখ নিয়ে যখন এতগুলো কথা হলো, আমি একটা সাইকোলজিক্যাল কোশ্চেন করতে চাইছি যে স্যার আপনার এক্সপেরিয়েন্স থেকে কি মনে হয়, কেউ যদি এক্সট্রিম লেভেলের এখানে স্টাডি করে বা সময় দেয়, তাহলে লাক কি ফ্যাক্টর করে, যে লাক ফ্যাক্টর না হলে সে যতই এক্সট্রিম লেভেলে করুক না কেন তার?
See, not only in stock market, I'm telling you, not only in stock market, you might differ, many might have differ, in every other field, if you work hard in right direction, then at some point of time, luck must favor. The keyword is work hard at right direction. আদারওয়াইজ তো যে লোকটা আজকে ভ্যান চালাচ্ছে সেও প্রচুর খাটছে, যে বস্তা করে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে সে বলবে যে ভাই আজকে যে লোকটা গাড়ি করে যাচ্ছে সে অত না খেটে এত টাকা ইনকাম করছে, যে রিক্সা চালাচ্ছে আমি তো এত খাটছি, আমি তো ইনকাম করছি না। সো ইটস নট অনলি হার্ড ওয়ার্ক, ইটস অল অ্যাবাউট হার্ড ওয়ার্ক অ্যাট correct direction, and whatever the little bit luck we all required. As I mentioned, so we are born in India, at least I born in a good family, my family offered educational support, so those basic luck are all of us, I mean everyone in the hall, whoever is listening to me today or whoever is listen to this video, so those basic luck support everyone has. And apart from that, in any other direction, any other field, if you work hard in right direction and if you stay long enough, lot of time what happens, even after working hard at a correct direction, just at a time when the luck will start to favor, before that you already quit. Then again, nobody can do anything. So if you work hard in a right direction, can stay long enough, then sooner or later luck must favor. No exception.
সাইকোলজি নিয়ে স্যার আপনার কিছু বুকস আইডিয়া আছে মানে
No. Yes.
Sir, at all assets, you say that a lot of parameters that you follow to screen that stock, it's from top-down or bottom-up approach, whatever followed. So there are two things that I need to present to you, that CFO to PAT and CFO to EBITDA. So what you these two parameters, how do you follow? क्योंकि धंधा में जब पैसा आएगा, धंधा तभी तो ग्रो करेगा, धंधे में तब देगा. तो इसमें आप क्या बोलते हैं?
So obviously CFO divided by PAT is a good parameter and we also follow. It simply means whether the PAT is getting converted into cash or not. Overall, that kind of idea. So that's a very good parameter to follow, and if any particular company is not generating any cash for 2-3 years, then maybe some sort of issue might be there. But at the same time, any high growth companies will burn cash for some time, have high working capital requirement at some years. So this is why 1 year, 2 year it's fine, but beyond that, beyond 3 years, if CFO divided by PAT is not that consistent, it is a red flag.
So any particular percentage that you follow, as like 70%, 80%?
80% is good enough, above 80% is good.
For CFO to PAT?
Above
For CFO to EBITDA?
CFO to EBITDA we didn't work with, so I only work with CFO to PAT. More than 80% is very good. More than 50%, you need to look deeper.
So is it for any kind of market capitalization company? It means from large cap to
Any, but yes, large cap to any stock, but for micro caps, maybe you can increase the window, like I am saying 3 years for all other stocks. Maybe for micro cap you can give 4 years, just that. But overall broad picture is, if the CFO is not consistent at profit, then it's a red flag. Yes.
Sir, is there any specific exit strategy in microcap? Someone says 20%
No.
down exit or
No. There is no nothing such exit, because in microcap many stock there are, even after 50% downfall the stocks start reversing. So there is nothing like 20% fall you exit. But yes, for your own personal satisfaction, for your, if you have some personal set, okay, so whatever be the investment, if this falls this much percentage I will exit, that's different. That's your personal risk management strategy. But overall, nothing such.
what strategy you follow generally?
No, I don't follow. As I mentioned, I never ever consider any profit loss as my real money. I never follow any percentage. I even don't look at profit and loss before deciding entry or exit decision. I look at the price only. Now obviously you might say how that is possible. Ultimately in portfolio, whatever you see, profit loss figures, मतलब वो आँख में आ ही जाएगा. But I try to, okay, so forget about my unrealized profit and loss. Let's look at the price, current business potential. If the price can move up, then I will stay invested. If the price may not able to move up, then I will exit, no matter how much is profit, how much is loss, and that should be the ideal scenario. When you are making an exit decision, don't focus on your profit and loss, because if you focus, you will get emotionally stuck. Lot of emotional thing will again come into the picture while taking that decision. You might say नहीं 30% लॉस है, हम नहीं निकलेंगे, चलो लॉस थोड़ा कम हो जाए, 20% हो जाए. अरे भाइयों, कौन आपको मार्केट में बोला कि नहीं आपको 30% नहीं, आपको 20% रिकवर होगा? So again, that's why I said, whenever you are following your loss to take your exit decision, again you will get emotionally stuck. And ये होगा ही, बहुत बार आपको लगेगा नहीं 50% लॉस है, नहीं ठीक है, ये लॉस थोड़ा 10% हो जाए तब हम निकलेंगे. अब 10% नहीं हुआ, 15% तक लॉस रिड्यूस हुआ था, फिर वो 15 से 20% हो गया, तो अब क्या करेंगे? तो you should remain detached from that to take rational
Sir,
decision.
in your experience, is it possible to make 10x in 10 years and 100x in 20 years?
Obviously, we also made that.
So that means it comes around 24% CAGR. Is
Huh?
it possible?
More than, actually in my personal investment career, I made more than that. And it's not difficult. Actually, see, someone was asking, did you made 100x return in your last 10-12 years? I said yes. And that's not,
Overall portfolio, total portfolio.
no, not on entire investment, but on,
Not one stock. I'm telling you total.
no, total stock, 10x, 20x return. 10x return on 10 years is very normal.
Not
20x,
one stock, sir.
I am talking
telling you,
about entire
supposing
portfolio.
If I have a wealth of 1 CR,
Yes.
so in 10 years 10 crore and 120 years 100 crore.
From 1 crore to 10 crore in 10 years is very natural for us. We did it. It's not very difficult for us. How? Because what happened, what I recall from my investment journey back in 13, 14, there are some certain stocks we invested that turned 10x. Now with that money, we invested in some another stocks that again turned 10x. So it multiplied. And if some part of your portfolio generated that 100x return, someone was asking, did any part of your portfolio generated 100x? Yes, some part of my portfolio generated 100x, and that's not difficult because in your 10 years, just 10x requires to make 100x. But yes, it's not my entire portfolio, some part of that, and that's why I'm saying in 10 years, if your 1 crore won't become 10 crore, then तो मतलब investment में मजा ही नहीं है, तो हम क्यों invest कर रहे हैं? But yes, these won't possible through mutual fund, large cap mutual fund, index fund, because on mutual fund they prefer safety first, and to do this, you should put safety on your backside. And how we are, concluding, taking care of safety and all, we tell our investors, as you come to us, no matter whether you are taking subscription or AIF, stick with us for 3 years to get the real potential. Many investors, what they do, suppose they subscribe for any service, 1 year there is no profit, they have unrealized loss, they don't continue. So all I don't say you subscribe, but if we subscribe, be committed for at least 3 years. I can't take 3 years subscription at once because of SEBI norms. That's why I need to take only 1 year subscription. But I can only tell you that if you are coming, your purpose is to make money, na? So at least stay committed for 3 years, whatever we lost or whatever happens in between, so that, you can. By the way, as you are saying this 10x, in this hall itself, there is one investor. I can't point out who is that guy because तो जाते जाते अगर कोई kidnap करने का सोच आ गया. But I can tell you, there is one investor who came to my office, who said कि उन्होंने ऐसे ही 10-15 लाख से कुछ ये चालू किया, उसका 1 crore प्लस हो गया, वो भी 2 साल में, 2 या 3 years. Insolation Energy was one of the stock, 30 गुना हो गया, and that's why he is in our AIF. यही पे बैठा है, इसी जोन में बैठा है, but I can't point it him because maybe he may not remain comfortable with that. Okay, he said he may reveal. Okay, so please stand up. Okay, so this is the person. So he came to our office. So he said that I made 30x return. আপনি কত বলেছিলেন ইনসোলেশন থেকে কত হয়েছে?
118 তোমার পারচেজ প্রাইস ছিল, এভারেজ বিক্রি করেছিলাম 3800।
না মানে কত লাখ টাকা কত লাখ হয়েছে?
108 দুটো লট কিনেছিলাম।
মানে কত লাখ হবে ওটা?
3 লাখ হচ্ছে না,
2.5 লাখ। সেটা কত হয়েছে?
এভারেজ মাঝে মধ্যে কেনা বেচা করেছিলাম, এভারেজ আমি বিক্রি প্রাইস 3850 3900।
মানে ওটা কত লাখ হবে এটা?
39 গুণিত 2
78 লাখ। তো উনি বলছেন he invested 2.5 or 3 lakhs and he made around 75 lakhs. But yes, but see, while he said that to me,
Around 30 to 32 times.
I said, and in fact, even I didn't make that money from that stock. Yes. So even, and it's not a rocket science. See, on the seminar, actually, I mentioned that insolation. It's not like that he came to my house and I provided some secret tips. No. The stock I discussed in a Bangalore seminar, and on that seminar, many people were there on Bangalore. Many people heard the recorded version. All the stocks, those I discussed in the seminar, all performed well. I don't think any stock is at loss right now. That was in 2023. So, ওখান থেকে like whatever he made, is it like all of you, I mean whoever is my, and yes, by the way, I also mentioned those seminar thing and recorded thing in YouTube as well. In YouTube there are, even that time there are more than 1 lakh subscribers. So point is, more than 1 lakh people were somehow aware about, okay, so this seminar is going to happen. Out of those 1 lakh, maybe around 100 persons who listened those recorded video, 100% should be there. So out of 100, do you think that all 100 made that kind of money? No. Few made that kind of money. Now you'll say, তো এখন কি বলবেন লাখ নেই? উনি-
এটা কিন্তু লাকি হল
I am telling you. No, I'm telling you.
ডিসকভার তো উনি করেন
I am telling you. See, I am telling you. Yes, it's luck, but why that luck favored him? I am telling you, he must have done something good. मतलब ये जो पैसा उसको आने ही वाला था कहीं ना कहीं से, ये पैसा मैं उनको लाके नहीं दिया. Maybe he did some good thing. Maybe he put some effort, but he didn't get that result in some other field. I don't know what. I even not interested to know. So, मतलब he got the result. So that result was due. That result was pending for him. So even if he didn't listen this seminar or didn't participate, or even if he मतलब हमको अगर नहीं भी वो पहचानता था, तो भी ये पैसा कहीं ना कहीं से उसको आ जाता था. So it's all about what you are doing in your life. It is looking like, yeah, lucky, but lucky, it's not like that the all on a sudden luck holds your hand. No, it's linked. Everything is linked.
Good karma.
So yeah, you can say good karma. You can say something. You can say, like as I mentioned, maybe he did multiple hard works. Maybe he did a lot of hard work, but he didn't receive that result since his childhood. Maybe now he is receiving result.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
बहुत बार होता है ना कि हम नौकरी कर रहे हैं, अरे नहीं हम बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं नौकरी में, फिर पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है, प्रमोशन नहीं हो रहा है, बॉस का गाली सुनना पड़ रहा है. See, you should do your job. Just focus on your job. Nothing else will matter. If you are good enough in your job, if you are on the right track, right path, somehow at some stage of your life, reward will come for sure. Okay, so with this, I am just concluding because it's now 8:25. So yeah, you can stop recording.